That makes sense, in so much that it sort of...
Oh, really? Oh, you usually just let strangers rub chamomile onto your lovely bottom.
This is Jaskier, bard and travelling companion of Geralt of Rivia and an all-round idiot. And I dare say, if you clicked on this video, he needs no introduction. Because Jaskier, well, he might be one of, if not the most memorable character from The Witcher. And just as a quick aside, I mainly mean this in reference to the show, since that's what I'll be talking about particularly in this video. Jaskier in The Witcher show, portrayed expertly by Joey Batey. And Joey Batey portrays him so well for one main reason. He's so likable yet so hateable. If hateable is even a word. Like, I just want to fucking punch the guy in the stomach, kick him in the balls, and a number of worse things at times, particularly in season 1 where he's just an all-round royal asshole and idiot. There is something about him, his presence on screen, that just lightens up the show. Every time I see Jaskier in frame, I am consumed with a tumult of angry, pissed off emotions because of how annoying and stupid and dim-witted he is, but also kind of secretly happy and a bit excited just to see what unbelievably foolish thing comes out of his mouth next. And I think that in particular plays a big part in why Jaskier's character is so compelling. His voice, his speech, his way of speaking. Because of course Jaskier is a bard, a pretty talented one I must say, and not just the singing, but also the lyrics of his songs are pretty damn decent. And that of course then translates to usual speech as well. I mean, this man speaking, it is glorious. He literally speaks in poetry, I kid you not.
Really? Oh, you usually just let strangers rub chamomile onto your lovely bottom.
And it's just so weirdly fun listening to Jaskier speaking, uttering some useless, outlandish, or really idiotic thing, so poetically, that manages to piss Geralt off perfectly, but give us all a good laugh. Now of course a big part of this is due to Joey Batey. The guy is so good in the role, so effortlessly funny yet such a dumbass. And as The Witcher has declined over the years since season 1, an inevitable fact even the most die-hard defenders will have to admit, there have not been many shining lights for the show. And then with Henry Cavill leaving the show to be replaced with Liam Hemsworth in season 4, really the only good part of the Witcher TV show, in my opinion, was gone. Except for Jaskier. That's right, our one saving grace, this idiot. And it's a shame he didn't get more screen time, especially in season 2 when there was so much more potential for Jaskier, for his character, for Joey Batey. But in the end he wasn't really used for much other than comic relief. And again, it's not that this is necessarily a bad thing. Jaskier is indeed the comic relief of The Witcher, or at least the main provider of it, and he is really someone who brings life to the screen whenever he's on it. Yet there was just so much more he could have done, he could have been, and it's a shame that we don't really get to see that, because of his character being reduced to nothing more than for a good laugh every now and then. But back to the positives about Jaskier, let's talk about his presence on screen, why it's actually so compelling, other than him being funny. Well, firstly, he actually has really good, surprisingly good chemistry in fact, with pretty much every single character he comes into contact with. And although his quite annoying personality and nature does mean that almost every fresh interaction he has with a new character is just them being pissed off at him, and Jaskier being so blind he's not able to see it, he still has some very good chemistry with those around him. And this is mainly of course The Witcher himself, Geralt of Rivia. Sorry, I don't really know why I said his full name. We all know who I'm talking about anyways. Geralt, or Geralt. I'm really not sure which one's correct. The show says Geralt, but I prefer Geralt. We'll stick with Geralt. So yes, Geralt and their bond, their friendship. And their bond together is actually surprisingly well executed. Honestly, if you ask me, it is the best relationship in the show. It's way better than Yennefer and Geralt. Which, by the way, I am not the biggest fan of Yennefer and Geralt, or even Yennefer as a whole, so maybe I'm a bit biased, but yeah, that's just my opinion. But either way, these two get on so well together, even though they are complete polar opposites. Also, I really do like Jaskier's relationship with Yennefer. Just the short quips they make at each other, you know, they're usually pretty good, and they always hit each other pretty hard with their jokes, and every single time that they're on screen together they just share these little moments, and it's great. Honestly, I could just watch a whole show of Yennefer and Jaskier just going on adventures together while Geralt, I don't know, chills with Ciri or something, and they're just having a go at each other the entire time. Even Jaskier and Ciri, I'd love to see them two bonding more as well. But once again, the problem arises of the way his character has been treated in the latter couple of seasons, 2 and 3, where he went from a genuinely really interesting, well thought out, morally great character, who despite being on the good side was probably not so good himself, but went through some visible character development, to just comedic relief. It is really unfortunate and frustrating how much he's shunned by the writers, who reduce him to nothing more than just humor in the background. And do not even get me started on his relationship with Radovid. Just no. Why? Listen, I just don't get it. Of all people, why did it have to be this guy? I mean, you know what? Sure, Jaskier is bi. I 100% get that. I mean, I think everyone predicted it right from the beginning. It was pretty obvious. But then pair him with this prick, Radovid. Just why? But anyway, staying on the positive, which is, pretty much everything with this show in season 1, Jaskier's singing is also on the whole a massive positive in the show. He's genuinely a really talented musician, a brilliant bard, and I love the energy that he brings when he sings, the dancing around in the taverns, just having fun, and once again bringing that heart and life to the screen that a show filled with damaged, hurt, extremely serious characters does need. I mean, come on, in a world full of Ciris and Yennifers, and especially Geralts, a character like Jaskier is desperately needed, and Joey Beatty does exactly what he has to do in order to really inject some life into the show when it most needs it. However, there is also a painful downside to pretty much everything about Jaskier, which once again is mainly in season 1, and I really don't know why everything is in season 1, why everything good and seemingly the majority of the middleweights are all in season 1 and then everything shit is in season 2 and 3. But back to our thing, the problems with Jaskier. Because as I so passionately ranted at the start of the video, Jaskier can also be a bit of an asshole and an idiot. For example, probably the one that comes to your mind the most in season 1 with the Djinn. And okay, this one actually really had me hating Jaskier, like actively loathing the idiot, and I was fully on Geralt's side in being extremely annoyed and frustrated at Jaskier for his antics. Because, let me explain, Geralt captures a literal living Djinn that can grant wishes, a genie, and Jaskier, because of a couple comments Geralt made about his singing and how poor it is, decided to be an absolute asshole, absolute idiot, absolute prick, and chucked the Djinn container thing on the ground, releasing a Djinn of untold power and almost getting himself killed in the process. Not to mention wasting, or at least thinking, he used 2 full wishes that could do anything on the stupidest things possible. So yes, maybe Jaskier isn't the best at times, but in the end, this is what makes us love him all the more. He's not a perfect character, absolutely not. He's done bad, quite a lot of bad, a good few weird things as well. But in the end, at heart, yes, he's a fool, but he is a good-natured fool. And it's clear that he does care for Geralt, for Ciri, and for the people around him. And whilst the writers may have absolutely butchered him past season 1, along with the rest of the show, as we all know, and his look, because oh my god, did they fuck that one up? What did they do to him in season 2 and 3? What is the hair doing? But Jaskier still remains, at least for me, the best character of the show alongside Geralt. He just has to be the single sole possessor of an actual good sense of humour, who brings that comic relief, if maybe a bit too much in season 2, but then nevertheless, he's there. He brings some joy and some serious pain at times to our faces. His singing is pretty darn good. I mean, I was obsessed with Toss a Coin to Your Witcher when I first heard that. It was great, and all round, he's a cool guy. Not to mention being actual friends with a living Witcher, which is a feat to be reckoned with. In conclusion though, I think the best way to sum Jaskier up as a whole is when he's not on screen, we miss him. And if that doesn't demonstrate to you how much I love him, how much we all love the bumbling, self-absorbed, idiotic singing bard and his jokes, and his absolutely beautiful way of speaking, like this man effectively speaks in poetry, then I don't know what does. But all in all, with that said, that is the end of today's video. Sorry for going on about Jaskier for a good 8.5 minutes. I'm sure that is enough of him for today, of this idiot. But make sure to tell me in the comments what you think of him, of the bard as a character, and how he could have been handled in later seasons. Also, by the way, can I just mention quickly, his drip, his clothing is impeccable. Like this guy, he has a fashion sense. Once again, him and Yennefer might be the only characters in the show to have a fashion sense at all. But anyways, make sure to tell me in the comments what you think of Jaskier as a character and how his character could have and probably should have been handled in later seasons. Also, of course, I'd like to express this. Make sure to subscribe if you wouldn't mind. This is a growing channel, and honestly, just one simple click of that button right there, yes, that one right there underneath would really help. But anyways, that is all for today. Thanks for watching. That's enough of your Jaskier for today, of this idiot. Thank you for listening to me rant about him for ages. Doth Sauron out.